And then there's marriage out of community of property with the exclusion of
That's
the
the one we
equal
want.
system. This one, you keep your things, I keep my things. We are here for love. If love is finished, we go our separate ways.
I like that one. The next time I get married, I want that one.
Yeah.
Hello world, how you doing? Je m'appelle Blaq. Yeah, I like it when I say that. Sounds nice, nah?
Yeah. Expensive.
Yeah, it sounds very expensive. All right, we're back again. It's that podcast that talks to men's issues and seeks to untangle the web around what happens about, the things that affect men. So today we are tackling a topic that is either complicated or complex. It depends on your point of view. But what I promise you is that you are going to enjoy what we're going to talk about. We are talking divorce. Now, you need to go out there, go get yourself a pen, pick up some notes. We've got an expert who's going to, break it down for us. But before we do that, Mos, I don't roll alone. I got my boys with me, Mr. T on the other corner and Mr. Rodney. And then we've got our special guest, the man of the hour. After this video, they introduce themselves and we'll get the show on the road. Brothers, let's talk.
My name is Natalie Williams. I am a family law attorney in Tableview. Here are 5 things that you do not do when you are getting divorced. So the first thing is, do not get legal advice. When you are in the process of divorce, or if you are considering getting divorced, go see an attorney. Go get legal advice. And I don't mean go and post on Facebook in some legal group or coming to TikTok even. Make an appointment with an attorney and go and find out your rights, the rights of your children, and this is to secure your future, okay? This is about your post-divorce life. This is about your rights. This is about your future. It's important. The second thing is, do not keep your children away from your spouse, unless there's abuse or any of those things. Your attorney will know what to do. But do not keep your children away from your spouse if there are no issues with his parenting or her parenting. This will count against you, especially somewhere along the line if there's a custody battle. And then the third thing is, do not take legal advice from friends and family.
Okay. That's the icebreaker. She's talking about some legal issues and some legal jargons. I listen to her, though. I know that she's not talking to us as men. The tone of her conversation is talking to the sisters. But with that said, we can also learn a few things there. Mr. T.
Yep. Well, Gemma, I won't even attempt to say Gemma.
It's called Je m'appelle Tabo.
I'm good. So
Je m'appelle.
I'm gonna twist it up a bit.
Yeah.
Simbonan, Abshen.
Okay. All right.
Jambo. When I say that, my name
Karibu.
is Tabo Makutwani, and welcome to Talk With Blaq. Happy to be here, and happy to be alongside our special guest, and that it's Apple.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Rodney.
Matimba Rodney Paloi from Kakala village. I'll always say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you're proud of the village.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure, yeah, I'm here today.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm
with
Shane.
Talk With
Ayen.
Blaq. Talk With Blaq, and yeah, the privilege to be here and sharing my thoughts. Yeah, man. Let's talk.
And the man of the hour, Mr. T.
Hi guys, my name is Tepo Sekubo. I am an attorney by profession, specializing in family law. We are based in Soweto. We are based in Johannesburg, and I must say it's an honor and a privilege.
Don't sell yourself short. You're an attorney and...
Oh, I'm an attorney and a real estate agent.
Okay. Yeah,
Making me
we talk
sound
to big
fancy.
people. Yeah, we talk to big people.
Yeah.
We talk to big people.
We need a house after this.
Yeah, we need to talk about
Ufuni room.
No, I can assist you.
Yeah.
So it's a privilege and an honor to be here. Thank you guys for the invite.
Okay.
And I look forward to sharing knowledge. I'm big on legal knowledge. I have a TikTok page. I think if you follow me, you'll see that I often share legal knowledge, things that perhaps wouldn't be so obvious to someone who is a lay person. Legal advice is another thing, quite expensive, but
Yeah.
legal knowledge, I'm happy.
Yeah,
to
you
share.
you shocked me with the figures that you guys charge.
Yeah, no, we have to eat. We have to eat. The degree is expensive.
Yo, hey guys, let them a phone call. Just them making a phone call. That's $500.
Cost
Yeah.
you.
Yo.
Yeah, we charge. You send me a WhatsApp message. I'm taking my time to look at your message. I could be generating funds elsewhere. So I need to charge. I need to bill for it. So,
It's called value.
yeah, value.
Added value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hustle.
Okay, guys, we heard the lady. What you make of that? Who's got this one? Mr. T, let's go first. Okay. Oh, no. Kulum. Let's go for it.
First of all, not to be funny, ne? It's best not to divorce. That's what I think.
Let's say
Yeah, I'm just saying.
the inevitable has happened.
Yes, yeah. I think it's good actually to have knowledge,
Mhm.
you know, to be prepared
Mhm.
and to do it the right way, you know, so that, you know.
She says don't ask for information from the family members.
Yeah, I'm saying,
What do you?
our family members. That's kind of, it depends for me.
Unless if your family members are
Yeah.
at Sepo.
Yeah, okay, but it depends for me. You know, it depends on the relationships I have
Yeah.
with specific family members. You know, you tell if this member is a good one or bad one. Obviously, if you know that you're not getting knowledge or anything from that, I wouldn't.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the best way is to do it legally.
Okay.
Yeah.
T-Man.
Yeah, I think what I'm picking up from the video is, it's an appreciated segment on general knowledge. A lot of things I think I would just touch on that. There's a lot of things we don't know. And, to come across a video like this, it's quite informative. Also, Blaq, I mean, it's smack bang down the middle. It's not for the female or the male or any of the people in the divorce process. So it's good value.
And the man of the hour, Sepo.
Well, I have to agree with my colleague there. Number one, get
Leonard
yourself. Yes, my Leonard colleague. Get yourself an attorney. We can't overemphasize this, and it's a pity because a lot of the times when we speak about it, it seems like we're just saying it because we want the money for ourselves. But we went to school for this thing. We trained for this thing. To become an attorney is such a long journey. For you to become an admitted attorney, it takes you 7 years, some 8. So it's extremely long journey. No, not the tom-tom. I'm actually my 8 degree. You can take the 5-year degree where the LLB is a postgrad, or you can do 4 years straight LLB. Some universities don't offer straight LLB. So it took us a long time, and before you even have to go to training, you do articles for 2 years. After that, you write 4 board exams. After the 4 board exams, you need to attend law school. Out of the law school that you just graduated from, there's a program that you need to attend, which is compulsory. And you pay for these things, and we acquire the knowledge through attending these courses and everything.
Off air, we're talking about Tifo. Now that you're talking about, you mentioned something. What happened there?
Yeah, no, Tifo is a Leonard colleague.
There's something he's missing, you said.
No. Not that there's something he's missing. Look, we do things in different ways. Particularly when it comes to how we handle cases, how we handle clients. I think if you read the judgment of why he was disbarred, you will note that it was after multiple complaints were laid against him. Then the LPC saw it fit to bring this application for his disbarment. Yeah, but I think I'm not really following it a lot now. I think he's appealing the decision and whatnot. But as professionals, we conduct ourselves in different ways, and we do things in different ways. I think as a client, you need to find someone who will communicate with you on that level. Understand how they do things when they tell you how they do things.
Now, let me tell you why I put the Tifo story. In 2010 or 2009, I applied for a divorce. I got pushed from pillar to post. I think I changed 3 lawyers. And all 3 of them, they were so unprofessional. It was amazing. The first one lied to me, Uguti. There was even a court number. For some reason, I then decided, let me go to the High Court because he said the case was at the High Court. Let me go to the High Court with the case number that he gave me. Go to the High Court, there's no case number. They don't know the case number. Then I left him, went to another one. Same thing. But then I didn't give him any case number. He just was dilly-dallying. He was doing that thing where he tried to prolong this thing as long as he can so that he can make as much money as possible.
Sounds like you didn't pay the people.
No, I paid them. No, I paid them.
They'll take care of
That's
you.
why this is so painful for me. And then the last guy were some Afrikaans lawyers in because I thought I tried 2 darkies and it didn't help. So I thought, let me go try the Afrikaners in Elsburg. In Elspark in Germiston. These guys now dragged me for like 5 years. They did the summons, the pleas and all the stuff, right? It ended nowhere. And then like 5 years later, I'm like, no, man, it can't take so long to do a divorce. I have a friend that's a lawyer. 2 friends that were lawyers. One, she was working for here at the SABC, and another one was working at Transnet. I showed them my case. I'm like, no, man, this thing is not supposed to take this long. Divorce takes 3 months. They showed me how to do it. I did it in 3 months myself. Now, the Afrikaans lawyers, after that, they hit me with the bill of 12,000 rands. They didn't do nothing for 5 years, but they hit me with the bill of 10,000. How much is that? 12K. So lawyers nabo abanye benu itikule department yenu akunabanye lento abathatha ama chance and I know that I'm not the only person that has gone through such a thing where I'm paying, you're paying, and I refused to pay the 12K. You know what they did? They blacklisted me.
Sure.
They blacklisted me.
That's deep, man.
And they didn't do nothing for 5 years. They didn't do nothing. I did it in 3 months.
Look, you know, from just what you're saying, there are so many things that one can pick up. As I said, legal knowledge is very important, right? So let's say, for instance, the 12,000 rand, you get a bill for 12,000 rand. You have every right to query the bill. You say, okay, I see you give me a bill for 12,000 rand. What did you do? They say, no, we drafted someone, we did this, and they must show.
And every call that I called them, they were billing me every time I called them.
Yes. No, we bill every time you call. We bill every time you call.
Practice.
Yeah, that one is standard practice. But what is important is that these things you speak to your lawyer about, or your lawyer is supposed to speak to you about, from the first consultation already. Already from the first consultation, you're supposed to get an estimate of how much this might cost me. If the divorce is opposed, obviously it's going to cost more than when it is unopposed. But those are conversations that you need to have. A lot of us find ourselves just wanting to get the client and get the work, and we don't go through that process. But if you feel like you were done bad, there's always the Legal Practice Council, which regulates all lawyers.
That's a process. I tried to do that. When I saw how many papers I need to fill and how long the process, let me leave them alone.
Yeah, but there are those bodies to protect the interest of the public against the practitioners, because a lot of the information that we trade is information that is not available to the public. Well, it is available if they know where to look, but you wouldn't wake up and say, hey, let me check who regulates lawyers, until you are in a situation that requires you to know who regulates lawyers so that you know who to. So it's very important that when you get a lawyer, because I cannot sit here and say, don't get a lawyer, do it yourself. You can do it yourself. The Department of Justice has given us, or given the public, a way. You can get a divorce done start to finish by yourself, right? Go through the process by yourself. But it is always advisable to get legal advice because, as I said, there are things that we know that you don't particularly know, that you don't pay attention to. So when you come to us, we will give you that knowledge and we will guide you as to the process. This is what it takes. And you need to also find a lawyer that works for you. Find a lawyer that works for you whenever you get a recommendation, because a lot of us get work via word of mouth. You know, Blaq knows Mr. T. Mr. T says, hey, I need a lawyer. I said, no, I know Tepo. You can call Tepo. Go to the LPC website, just Google that person.
Repeat that.
Google that person.
No, the website. So that.
Oh, you can go to the LPC website.
LPC.
Yes, the Legal Practice Council's website, or you can give them a call and say, hey, I have a name here. They're saying this person is a lawyer. Is he really a lawyer? We are there. We update. We pay our subscription. So they'll tell you if one is practicing, because there are a lot of bogus practitioners out there as well. Now, what happens is a lot of people come across bogus practitioners and then have a bad experience with them. And then now the name is on all of us.
All the lawyers.
Do you understand? The name is on all of us now to say, yeah, lawyers are crooks, lawyers do this, lawyers do this. You're just dealing with the bogus practitioner. And I would understand why it's easy to fall into that trap, because you are going through this highly emotional experience. It's highly emotional. And sometimes, you know, emotion and logic don't really go together.
Sure.
So it's an emotional process that you are vulnerable, to put it simply.
Okay, now that we've put that ground, those things on the ground, there's a question I want to ask. In the process, as we heard the lady, one of the things she mentioned is don't hide the children. Don't hide assets. And what else did she ask?
No, then
there were 5 things that she put.
he also spoke about
3
TikTok and TikTok heaven also. I like what you said. Don't publicize
the family, the family guys. Yeah.
Family.
How true are those things, and why mustn't you hide assets? And
look, I think we're jumping a lot of steps.
Yeah.
As I said, I agree with her, right? Especially when she says, don't hide your assets. When you get married, you enter into a matrimonial property regime.
Okay.
Right.
Let's take it from the beginning.
Yeah, let's start it from there.
Let's go there from the beginning.
We have 3 of those. There's marriage in community of property, which is the most common one.
Yes.
Right. And then there's marriage out of community of property with the inclusion of the accrual system.
Explain the accrual.
So
that we know
when we speak about the accrual system, you are coming with your estate, I'm coming with my estate. And when we are together, we be together for 10 years. After we see whose estate grew more. And the one that had a significant increase more than the other in their estate is supposed to share the difference between the estates. Do you understand? So that we are coming in on an equal footing. So let's live also on a somewhat equal footing. Do you understand? And then there's marriage out of community of property with the exclusion of the accrual system. This one, you keep your things, I keep my things. We are here for love. If love is finished, we go our separate ways.
I like that one. The next time I get married, I want that one.
Yeah.
Okay,
because
the community one, because that's the one where we all fall prey.
In community of property, yes. So in community of property means you have your assets, they have their assets. When you get married, they become one. Assets and liabilities, very important to note. Assets and liabilities.
Your debt is my debt.
Your debt is my debt. Your assets are my assets. So we share everything. When the sheriff is coming after the one party, they are coming after you as well.
Sure.
Do you understand? So the estate, it forms one estate. It forms a joint estate. Now, in the joint estate, when we divorce,
don't forget even the pension. Because
even the pension, anything and everything, even your investments. Anything and everything that you have, you share with your spouse at that particular point in time. But now, if you decide to separate now and go your separate ways, this is where the issues this is where the issues come in, because now it's like we take one big cake and we slice it in half.
And that's the painful part.
That's the painful part, especially when it comes to the pension fund.
Pension ingaka.
Yes.
And yakho ingaka.
Yes.
And we're not trying to scare anyone into marriage.
No,
I don't think we are, but we just, I think what you laying the ground, so the person can manage the expectations, like what you're getting yourself into in case something happens. And we're not saying a divorce is going to happen. But my question is, I just want to backpedal a little bit, especially about lawyers, and because I also went through a divorce in 2018. And I decided the family emuhle, family. Yeah, I decided they were still open. I think they closed now. And I decided to do it myself also.
Okay.
It took me about...
It's tedious, ne? The process.
Yeah, but I think I wasn't so much hung up on the process itself as I was hung up on just seeing it end.
Yeah.
So my goal was just seeing the end of it. I would wake up, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that. I did it myself. The lady tried to oppose through legal aid. She couldn't afford a lawyer at the time. She failed. Legal aid contacted me. They said, well, we told her she's got no case. But I did that myself. So I saved a lot of money. So that's me going on that. But I just want to backpedal a little bit and touch on what Blaq said about his experiences with 3 attorneys and whatnot. I do vaguely have an understanding that not everyone is called an attorney or an advocate. Not everyone can be an advocate or whatnot. There's a lawyer, there's an advocate, and an advocate assumes a certain role that a lawyer wouldn't necessarily have. So in such instances, when you're looking for a lawyer or like seeking legal aid for divorce, is there a difference? I mean, are lawyers cheaper than advocates and attorneys? How does that work?
Okay, so to answer your question, you have to start by dissecting what are the difference between the people that you just mentioned.
Yes.
Right. So a lawyer is an umbrella term that we use. So, somewhat like a doctor. There's a doctor, and then within doctors, then there's an orthopedic surgeon, then there's a dentist, then so a lawyer is a general term that we use. Now, within the profession, there's attorneys and there's advocates. Now, this is now we are going into practice where you're dealing with clients and all that. There's attorneys and then there's advocates. The difference between the two is that one is the training, really, because training, the attorneys.
That's the 7 years we're talking about.
Yes, you do 2 years of articles, you do 4 board exams, you do legal, practical, vocational training, and after that, you apply to the High Court to be admitted as an attorney.
Okay.
Now, as an advocate, you register with the bar. The bar, you do pupillage, right? So when you do pupillage,
so an attorney does not register.
No, we all register now with the LPC. So historically, there used to be an attorneys act.
With the bar.
No. The attorneys are not regulated by the bar. Attorneys are regulated by the Legal Practice Council now. It used to be Law Society. So there used to be a significant difference between the two in terms of who regulates who and who has authority over who. But with the Legal Practice Council, we see that now attorneys and advocates are all being regulated by the Legal Practice Council. Yes. However, there are still key differences in the functions that they perform. So your advocate is usually the people you see on TV, So advocates primarily get work from the attorneys, right? So if you come to me and your divorce is in the High Court, and I'm an attorney and I prefer not to
take it to High Court,
not to appear, because they are trained specifically in the art of presentation, in the art of presenting a case before the judge. The attorney is in the background. They prepare the papers. They prepared the brief. They meet with the client. Traditional advocates or advocates that we call referral advocates, those are advocates that only get work from attorneys. So there are certain instances where attorneys can be briefed directly by clients, but primarily for an advocate to appear, they need a brief from an attorney. So that's where the main difference is. Those people that you see in the High Court wearing robes, the likes of Botalimpo, those are advocates.
So you can't go to an advocate, for doing it. It's going to cost you, heavily.
No. Besides the issue of cost, you are supposed to go through the attorney.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go through the attorney. Now we have trust account advocates where they can meet with clients directly, perform a function of an attorney and an advocate at the same time.
Okay.
With the introduction of the LPC, but traditionally that's what advocates are doing, and this is what attorneys are doing. So for you to get advocate Tembeka Ngwethu, you need to start here, and you will tell me, you know what? I think advocate Ngwethu is the best person to present, and I will approach advocate Ngwethu.
Okay.
I have a brief for you. I have the funds and everything. So that's the value chain.
Okay.
When you speak about the legal
your
process.
Vote.
Yeah.
Your vote.
Yeah. So we are voter. Nami mongela I think Advocate Spanban is the best. Because they are our colleagues who work with them, right? I think Advocate Spanban is the best. Then we get Advocate Spanban. Then your matter is finally presented in court by that particular advocate.
But a divorce like that must be costly. It's not just for you to go through the process when you could just approach a lawyer who can finish it for you. One lawyer.
You see, when you include lawyers, we are all fighting for our clients' rights. I say this again, something that perhaps you wouldn't have thought about. I have a matter where I had a client, he was going through a divorce. He wanted it to be done with, did it himself. And he ended up having a Kanishi order of 5,000 rands against his salary on a monthly basis.
I thought that Lendo Kanishi orders are no longer legal in South Africa.
No, they are legal. They are very legal, my brother. Very, very legal. So what happened is he went through the divorce and he had that mindset, I want this to finish, right? So the lady was able to get him to pay 2,500 for each of, they had 2 kids together. So he paid 2,500 rands for those kids. And he agreed to it. He
agreed to the agreement?
No. When the order was being granted, it's something that he agreed to.
Okay.
Do you understand? But if there was a tape or in the mix, I would have said, wait, before we agree, because I'm not emotional. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. How do we justify? Because even with the issue of maintenance, you can't just thumbsuck a number to say, I want 10,000 rands from you. It must be justified at 10,000 rands.
Like the Robert Marawa case.
Yeah. Yes, it must be justified.
He was paying at this.
Yes.
And then she's like, no, it's not enough. I want. And then the judge said, no, you deserve this.
Yes, because when it comes to maintaining a child, and now we digress, when it comes to maintaining a child, it is not only the father's responsibility. It's the responsibility of both the parents. Now, how the courts...
In the child's best interest.
Yes. How the courts look at it is we see how much Tsepo's wife is making, or ex-wife or ex-girlfriend is making, and how much Tsepo is making. Now, after we put together the expenses of the child, then we divide that proportionally, because it would be unfair if I'm earning 50,000 rands and the mother of my child is earning 10,000 rands and we expect to go 50-50. It's unfair, it's impractical. So the court will divide that amount in terms of how much who earns. Do you understand? So, as I said, a lot of things, the public doesn't know this.
Okay, let's go back to the hiding of assets. Then why must we hide? Because personally, I know it's painful to give somebody your I mean, like, never mind sweat. Joe, your retirement thingy is supposed to nest you through your dark days where you can no longer work, and somebody wants 50% of that.
Yeah. You shouldn't really, because when you go to the divorce process, things that are often contested is, number one, the children. Number two, the financial space. Say who has what. Your wife will know. Your wife will know how you use your money, what you have.
Not everything.
They should.
Not everything.
They should though. Why?
Yeah. You know,
Don't be that much
when
in
it's
love.
nice. When it's nice, then
We'll keep his doors on.
you disclose. But
Aye.
now when it's not anymore,
Mm.
you forget that. Oh, I once told her that I have this stash somewhere and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Take for instance this kid that we were talking about yesterday, who used to play from, or he still plays for Marseille. Is it Marseille or Paris Saint-Germain?
Yeah.
The Moroccan player.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I've heard of him. Yes.
That one is my hero. That one.
Yeah, but you know, when you look at it from a South African law perspective, we can fight it, we can argue it in court to say, in a marriage, we contribute certain things. Right? You may perhaps, let's say you have a wife that stays at home, and you are the one that provides financially. You come home with the finances. When you get home, you find the house is clean, the kids are clean, you know. That contribution that your wife is doing isn't less important than you coming with the man.
No, but this lady, she was a lawyer. No, she was a model. She wasn't a homebody, a home mom.
It really matters not. When it comes to divorces, the unfortunate thing is that you can't have a blanket. Each and every case will be judged on its merits. Do you understand? So even though we know that his assets he bought in the name of his mother and whatnot, but we don't know the intricacies of their divorce. So we'd have to sit down and actually see why this person was buying assets in the name of their mother. Because if it is found that you did that to conceal those assets, you'll be in big trouble.
So sorry.
Yes.
Also, so if I have assets before marriage and then divorce happens, you know, what then happens? Let's say maybe I have my own house, my car.
Depends on the property regime that you chose. If you are,
yes, I know it's common, but I mean in community, right? But I bought those before. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter. That's why I'm saying. A lot of people will say, yeah, but this person had a loan before we got married. Why am I being responsible for the loan now?
Yes.
Because you got married in community of property. Everything became one and everything is cut into half.
There's another thing that we as men never look at. Amalobol.
Yeah.
Talk to us about amalobol, because that I hear automatically goes to in community of property.
Yes. So when you get married customarily, right? You do so in terms of the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act. So in terms of the Act, all marriages concluded in terms of that Act are automatically in community of property, right? Now, in community of property, in a sense that if you don't sign an ANC antenuptial contract before you go and take out the lobola,
also,
then you are deemed to be married in community of property.
Also,
and
before.
You must do it before.
Not after.
Not after.
I am surprised.
Not after, because
you just helped me there.
Once you sign it after, it's a different process. It's a
Okay.
different process altogether. You must approach a court, make an application to change the matrimonial property regime and all those things, which is going to be costly. Because then we come in, advocates come in, and we need to ask the court to give us permission to change the matrimonial property regime.
Okay.
But advisable, before your uncles go there and take out the lobolas, go and consult an attorney, a notary public. They will help you with an ANC, so that even when you get married, you get married out of community of property.
So you said something, we tackled something around, in fact, we're still talking about assets and money and property and whatnot. So my question is, I think it's Ronnie who said it. So my question is, to follow up, what about, so somebody hides their assets or whatever, right? And you're saying obviously it's not advisable. Are there instances where the spouse, male or female, can hire a private investigator? I'm sure they are. But in a case where you come in and say you didn't disclose that you own property and whatnot, then it's not declared in court and whatnot. Does the South African legal or the court system have a way? Do they have mechanisms of investigating themselves and finding out about you and whatnot? Like, how do they make sure that they pull out everything that you own? I mean, do they work with SIU, Hawks or whatnot?
I'm sure SARS comes into
Is
that
there a
place.
system in the South African legal system that, or can people get away with it?
Look, not
Without
that
disclosing.
not that I am aware of. Remember, a court is an adjudicator.
Mhm.
The adjudicator will listen what is brought to them and then make a decision based on what is brought to them. So now, if you decide to lie, let's say you have a house but you don't want to disclose that house, because when you go through divorce proceedings, you fill out a financial disclosure form.
Okay.
Right? Now, that
didn't know that
financial
also.
disclosure form is a legal document.
Okay.
It's a legal document and it is submitted to the court as evidence.
Okay.
Now, if you lie there, you are no different for someone who lied in court.
So you
You perjure yourself.
now
You perjure yourself.
criminal,
So
right?
you can be held criminally liable for those things. You know, that's why we always advise clients don't, because once they find out that you do, then you might even have criminal cases that you need to defend yourself against. So the court won't make an investigation itself. No. Unless you are in the maintenance court. In the maintenance court, they can subpoena the banks to give them
Because I'm
your
thinking
information.
SARS is another way that they can find out. Because if you're talking about anything revenue,
But remember, there's Protection of Private Information Act now. So you can't just get you can't just get information, and it will really depend on how
so even
the
the courts
parties.
can't go into SARS and subpoena documents.
Look, they can, but they must have sufficient cause. I think I stand to be corrected, but you can't just say, I'm a court of law, then give me this. No, you can't. That's why I say in the maintenance court, then a maintenance investigator will go through that process, subpoena the documents, because we are subpoenaing because we want to see if you guys have an account with this person or what. And then when they come back, then they come back with the information. So it's not advisable to hide assets. Never hide assets.
Can I ask, going back a bit, sorry man, like I'm becoming more curious with this. So
So it's all good, no,
I just want to understand this. So I'm going back to in community of property, right? So you said in lobola is in community of property, right? So what happens if we are lobola kuphela and you don't sign? Does it still stay as a community of property? You know, like unabantu abalobolayo, but they don't go to home affairs. And then what if something bad happens?
That is what we would refer to as registration of a customary marriage. So before there's the wedding, the event.
Yeah.
No, but first that letter that you signed to that's a contract.
Before the wedding,
That letter that you
before
signed.
the wedding. So the point I'm trying to drive home, remember the RCMA, Recognition of Customary Marriages Act, regulates that. So it states, I think it is section 3, the requirements for a valid customary marriage. Number one, both parties must be above the age of 18. They must have legal capacity to enter into that contract. Number two, it says that for you to be able to be seen as husband and wife, the customary processes must have been seen the marriage must be celebrated, entered into and celebrated in terms of that particular custom. Now, this is where it becomes cloudy now, because other people will say, I paid lobola, but they never brought her. We didn't do members or whatever the case may be. So our argument is that it was not concluded. But we've had instances in the court of law to say, even if you paid portion of the maintenance and you live together as husband and wife, then you are seen to have concluded a customary marriage.
Talking about living together, I've heard about this one. Tell me if it's a lie. Please dispel it for me. Leoguti, if you guys stay together for 6 months, just staying together, there's no lobola, there's nothing. Is that true?
That you are married?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Or
no.
Maybe not that you're married. Or should anything happen to me if I die,
she's entitled to things. Or she can, if I leave after 6 months, she can come and claim spousal support.
Let's say let's go with girlfriend allowance, because they are not a spouse yet. I guess you're not married.
Yeah.
Let's say you give your girlfriend allowance of 10,000 rands every month, and then you decide to you pass on. right? Get into a car accident and you pass on. Now, that girlfriend has the I don't want to say the right, but that can approach a court of law against your estate to say, this is the maintenance that I used to receive from this person, and I am asking that I get it from the estate because this is what he used to do. This is what he used to give to me. I'm accustomed to this. There's a certain lifestyle that I am accustomed to. Even if you break up, that can still be made. That application can still be
guys,
made.
Guys,
So
be careful.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Marry. I say marry. You need to marry.
No.
Yes.
Magahlale 2 weeks. Abuyele kubo. Phinde buye futhi. Don't stay from.
No, look, cohabitation is something that the society is going more and more into, as opposed to marriage. So we'll find out when you're cohabiting, when things are not good for you and things are good for her, she assists you. When things are not good for her and they are good for you, you assist her. So that is a form of especially if your intentions were to be together for a very long time or forever.
Life partner.
It's a life partnership. And those things, we found instances where the court says that we can't discriminate against people who choose not to marry.
Okay. Now let's go back to the marriage part and discrimination. What are the reasons, or what to divorce, to break up a marriage? What are the legal reasons accepted by the court? Do those rules from way back then, with the infidelity, what do they still apply? Or I'm like, well, how does the court see that as a reason for divorce, first of all?
Okay, so when you choose to divorce, right?
Yeah, when you separate.
Remember, a marriage can only be dissolved by divorce or death.
Okay.
This thing of separating, you live there, doesn't work. It's either you get divorced or you die. That's how you dissolve a marriage. So when you're getting divorced, if you can show the court that the marriage has irretrievably broken down, so much that it is the prospects of returning the relationship to a normal relationship.
I'm talking about the causes now.
Yes.
Do they make
this is now going to the causes. Now, when you show the court that your marriage has irretrievably broken down, then you need to tell the court this is what happened, this is why. If you've lived apart for more than a year, then that itself is sufficient. But if you broke up 3 months ago, you want to divorce, you agree on it, then you need to tell the court, no, she had extramarital affairs, she was abusive, she did this. However, that will not
dishes.
you can put them all there. But that will not affect how the marriage is dissolved, because our legal system does not recognize the fault principle anymore. To say
that's what I want
to say. Now it is your fault. Now you can't get this. No. That's not how it works.
So the court doesn't care who's wrong.
No. The court will dissolve the marriage in terms of the matrimonial property system that you guys chose. So if it's in terms of community of property, she won't now say, the court won't say you won't get the pension fund because you cheated. No, that's not how it works. It's a different process, that one. Now, if I'm divorcing you because you cheated on me, I need to make an application to the court for you to forfeit the right to claim my asset.
With evidence,
so it's a forfeiture. Yes, you need to convince the court to say we are breaking up now because this person did this. This person wasn't contributing financially. This person did this. Now, the court, after hearing all that, will say, okay, after I've heard and considered the evidence of the application that is before me, I deem it fit that you can get half of the house, but you don't touch the pension fund, for example. Right? So you can apply for a court for forfeiture. Forfeiture of benefits is what we call it. If you apply to the court for forfeiture and you get the court saying, that's where we look at the fault, the conduct of the parties within the marriage.
Okay, so initially we don't care why you
initially separate. To divorce, no. We don't care why you guys. well, not that we don't care why you are divorcing, but it doesn't affect how
we see you.
how we split the assets. But what affects how we split the assets is that forfeiture application in terms of the Divorce Act to say, I'm asking this court to grant a forfeiture order against this person because they did this.
Okay.
Understand?
Talk to me about Rule 43. What is Rule 43?
Rule 43 it's an interlocutory process. So divorces can take long, right? Divorces can take long. So let's say in
Yeah, mine
divorcing,
took 9 years.
yes, yours is taking 9 years, and in this 9 years,
9 years, yeah.
in this 9 years, you feel that, you know what, I am struggling with the legal costs. I am struggling with, let's say you're living with the kids. I need the kids to be maintained and all that. So you bring a Rule 43 application for legal costs. You bring it for maintenance, parentality. Parentality means whilst proceedings are pending, whilst litigation is pending. And you can make also for spousal maintenance to say, this person, he takes care of the rent, she takes care of the rent, she takes care of this. I'm a stay-at-home husband. So now we are going through a divorce and I can't afford the rent, I can't afford this, I can't afford this, I can't afford this. So you ask the court to give you that amount.
So that's
the Rule 43. So it's an interim order. So what will happen is when the court gives a final order on your divorce, once we are finished, now we are giving a final order. The final order has the effect of overriding the Rule 43 order. So the Rule 43 order ceases to exist because the court has now made a determination on the maintenance, on the legal cost, that who must pay the cost and all that. So Rule 43 is basically, and it's Rule 43, I think it's 58 in the magistrate's court, because now you can divorce in the magistrate's court as well, in the regional court. So in the magistrate's court, it's Rule 58.
Magistrate court.
Yes, it's a Rule 58. What we call Rule 43, I think it's a Rule 58.
Okay.
And in the High Court, it's Rule 43. So Rule 43 is just to say, whilst proceedings are pending, this is what
now another thing
will
I'd like you to
happen.
do now. Can you educate the brothers out here that it's not imperative that Beyiti who support the women. Like you said, the court looks at who's earning more money than who. I was challenging Guti. So that the guys know, because in most occasions it's just written Guti, where as a guy you're going to take care of this woman, regardless. And we know that Mr. Jones is claiming spousal support from Minnie Dlamini, and not many guys know about that.
Yeah. So why not many guys know about it is that societally, we are accustomed to the system where men are providers, right? But now women are also providers.
Yes.
We find a situation where I lose my job, my woman provides for me, and they provide for me for a long time. Now, I am also entitled to claim spousal maintenance from the woman. And it goes across the board. I see guys that live with their kids but are not claiming support maintenance from the women. You have the right. You have the right. You can approach a court of law to claim maintenance from the mother of your child.
I didn't know. I raised my kids from the age of 7. They are still with me now. From the age of 7, I've never even gotten a cent from her. And instead, when all her shenanigans got finished, she then tried to get support from, she tried to get the kids so that she can get support from me. After she was absent for a while.
And I always advise the gents that I come across, if you live with the child, get a maintenance order against the woman. Let her contribute as well to the upbringing of the child, because a child is not only the responsibility of the father to maintain financially. Both parents must maintain.
Preach, brother.
Both parents must maintain the child. So if you are the man that lives with your children and you're experiencing financial difficulties, approach the maintenance court. You have every right to. And if they turn you back, give me a call. I will go with you there so that we ensure. And we need to dispel this notion that the financial support of children is dependent on men. now we are getting married to women who work. We are in partner. Our partners are employed and are earning a salary. It's not fair. As much as it's not fair for you as a guy to run away from your responsibility,
Yes.
it's not fair for them as well to run away from their responsibility, because now you see women saying, "Okay, you are leaving me. Go with your child. Don't take that child back. Go with the child, my brother, and claim maintenance from her, because it doesn't absolve her from maintaining that minor child."
So, do you, in your profession, come across instances of, and I'm pretty sure it's very minuscule. I hear from you, but do you get cases of people before going through a divorce who opt for mediation and reconcile and so on? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not prevalent. I could be wrong, but I mean...
And I'm going to follow up before you answer him. It's the same. Oguti, we're also been told that lawyers are actually, or attorneys, are actually the pushers and the drivers of these divorces. Sometimes you find, Oguti, they still can be fixed, this thing. But you find the lawyers, Oguti, hey, we stand to gain a lot, and then they push this thing to happen.
Look, I think it goes back to the type of lawyer that you have. It goes back to that discussion. Because during my first consultation, I will ask my client, did you try everything that you can? Are you certain that you want to go through with the divorce? If they say yes, they'll say yes. See, there was a family meeting, we went to therapy, we did all those things. Because also, the court will want to know that information when you finish the process. Did you try everything that you can to fix the marriage? And if the answer is yes, we have, then, but you get clients saying, yeah, last week I moved out, I want to divorce now. And I'm like, hey, come down.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah, hey, come down.
Easy, bro.
Come
Easy.
down. Have you sought the assistance? We have mediators that we work with. We have a family psychologist that we work with. And we often say, look, let's try and mediate the matter. Perhaps the problem isn't as big as we think it is, or is actually resolvable. And you have people who say, no, we've spoken to that mediator. This is the decision that we've taken. We are no longer proceeding with the divorce. We want to give it a shot. And it's fulfilling because in as much as I make money from a divorce, I don't like seeing people going through that process because it's a very painful and emotional process. You see men crying. You see men crying.
So it becomes a more
it becomes.
So is it true that 80% of the divorces that come up, they come up because of the sisters? They are tired. I mean, like, it's like, yeah, whatever, I'm done.
No, I can't speak. They would have had to have been a research paper on it.
No, but I mean, I need to, we hear out here, I need to imagine TikTok, what, and we hear this information bandied about. They say 80% of divorce cases. Is it the same case in South Africa, though? Let me just say.
No. I don't want to go into that arena where I say this percentage or this is people. There are different reasons as to why people divorce, right? You'll find that infertility is reason enough for some guys to divorce.
I honestly think it's...
But you find guys that have been in a marriage, been cheated on, went back, tried to reconcile. Maybe now the issue is that this woman is just too disrespectful. She doesn't see my value.
But do we go forward with
this?
Yes.
There are guys that initiate divorce proceedings, but more often than not, it's women.
I want to find that. Who initiates more? Is it the woman or men?
Well, let me speak about the cases that I've had. The cases that I've had, a lot of the times, it was women who came and said, you know what, I'm done. But now they say I'm done. They say I'm done once at home. The husband will be like, divorce me then. Divorce me. Instead of the husband going. It's like, when you're in a relationship and you found someone better, but you don't want to leave this one. You want them to leave you. It's type of that thing.
If there's anything I can advise you guys, never lash like a woman. Uzosibangela amabhadi.
Yeah.
Let her be the one that leaves you.
No. I'm not condoning that behavior. If it's too much for you, if you're done, then be done, my man.
Suppose would it be safe for me to? I know Blaq is talking about 80, but honestly, I feel it's 50-50. It's 50-50.
It's not 50-50.
Down the middle.
No, it's not.
Okay,
hold
on.
A
woman can cheat just as much as a man can cheat.
Listen, and in relationships now, before we even go to marriage, how many guys dump women? When since you've been you, udampa bayingaki wena? Or uwohlala udanjwa?
I don't calculate that, but I mean, I've had breakups. I've left people. I'll be honest. I've left people. But I've never quantified it. What I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make is, it's a person to person. It's a case by case.
Yeah, case by case basis.
It's people. Yeah. You see, you can't change a person, and a lot of people get into marriage thinking, you know what, I'm Jolie and I for 2 years, and I do believe marriage will make this person a better person, and you get disappointed because you can't change a person. And I believe we're just as much at fault, if not a little bit more as men. We need to be accountable. But look, Blaq, I'm telling you,
there's only one thing that we do.
What is that?
Which is jola.
Yeah,
that's exactly. The only thing that we
do. In one household and be present in another household, and you find a woman. And I'm not advocating for women here. Understand me? You find a woman is having to raise children on her own. Yes, you maintain, but you're busy with another woman.
No, but why is she raising kids by herself?
It's because she's another man.
No, she's avoiding you. She's avoiding you having access to your kids. That's why.
I think it's a case by case thing, because we can say men are only guilty of infertility, but I've come across cases where infertility was not the problem. The man is not attentive. The man is nonchalant, and not because they are cheating, just because they've lost interest in that particular person.
It's like they have a
Petro is stress out.
Yeah, or Petro is stress, or whatever, for whatever reason. But there are men who just don't cheat, but still go through divorce. Because maybe the wife is not attractive anymore, or whatever the case may be. There are men that love big women.
Oh yes, so Africa, bro.
Yeah. So it goes back to the point. It's not. Men aren't only guilty of cheating. There's a lot of things that guys do. You'd be surprised, my man. I'm a cheat. Amanye awana inhliziyo ngaphandle now. Amanye awana inhliziyo.
No, I agree. Look,
there's people, there's gents who are abusive, and not abusive because the lady did anything. Asibuyele etshaleni azidinele into zakhe. Shaya umntana impama ngiyayibona ukuthi afaka umntana abantu ibhodlela phezulu kwekhaya. Now we can't reasonably.
Okay, guys, hold on. I feel as if you guys don't understand. I'm not saying we are angels. Nah, I'm not advocating by any means saying
I feel like we're the perpetrators.
No.
Most of the time.
No, lineality, man. You see, the thing is with us as Kulumi, hence the slogan of the show is "Brothers, let's talk." So because we don't vocalize, you don't hear the pain that most men go through. Why I asked the question, Guti, who initiates, is the very thing, Guti, I mean, like, is going to push you up, and still ask for a divorce. But with that saying, I'm not saying Guti Amatota are angels. There are men that are vagabonds out there. There are men that are just, look, man, I've got 4 daughters. You know what I mean? I cannot sit here and say Guti all men, because I don't want my daughters to go through the same nonsense. But Chief, Mama, there, as much as we are brought here to protect them, but they can press the buttons.
That I'll give you that 100%.
There are men that are going through the most nonsense.
Yes.
And that's why in our previous show last week we spoke about male, depression.
Yeah.
It's things like that.
Yeah.
Where you've got no outlet. Where can you go?
Then leave the person. Right?
But leaving the person is going to cost you financially.
I understand it's not so easy, but
it's going to cost you financially.
Not so easy. Are you happy to live the next 10 years in this toxic environment, or are you willing to go for the next 2 years trying to get to a better place?
You know what you can compare it to a woman that's being abused in a relationship but just doesn't want to leave. How many of those have you come across?
Yes.
They just don't want to.
It's not only
she
women
also
that go
she
through
also
that.
has the option to just leave, but she doesn't just want to leave. So men also go through the same thing.
Yeah.
They say logically, me leaving at this point would be the best, but do they do it? They don't, for whatever reasons. Maybe there's a trauma bond, maybe whatever reasons.
The children.
But some men, I'm sure there are lots of men who rush to you because I want a divorce. I want to.
It's very rare that you find brothers divorcing because of Tolomunye.
Tolomunye, to the extent that you even want to you divorce your wife for her. Now we need to also address how did we get there.
Yeah, we are
we need to address how did we get there, because
you don't know what they're going through.
In as much as women can say men before a woman leaves you emotional, physical, they've left you emotional. I feel like the same is the case with men.
That was my next question. What's the psychology?
Yeah, you will come home every day to a fight and you're just tired. Do you understand? And in those situations, that's where you open space for other people in the relationship and all those things. And the same applies for women. The same applies for women.
Usema creating out. Sama creating buka TV encane engaka. Ibhola da. He's got
guy in the world.
Big TV.
Yeah. Mention there.
Why is he running away from the house?
Peace.
Because there's no peace. And I think a lot of the time, men will cheat for the sake of cheating, but there are guys who will. Yes, it's wrong to cheat on someone when you can just leave. But we've already established that just leaving is not. You don't just leave like that, and not only for men but for men and women. But in as much as we can say when a woman leaves you physically, they've already left you emotionally for whatever reason. The same can be said for men. Why must the infidelity of a woman now be sophisticated and explained that you must have done something that led her to that position, when with men it's just men are like that, men are dogs. No, men are not dogs, men are not like that. There is something that happened that led this man to that particular situation. It's just that men don't talk about it. Back to your point, men don't talk about it. We don't speak about these things. It's not a badge of honor to wear to say, I've been cheated on. It's not a badge. Whereas for women, it gets them the sympathy from people, to say, sorry, you're going through this, the support, everything. Do you understand? But for men, it's something that we choose to keep quiet about.
So there's no equality.
Yes, no. Equality, my man, is a conversation for the future, but not now. They say that there's only the people that live now.
They say there's two things in the world that are loved unconditionally: dogs and children, not us. That's the only thing that is loved unconditionally.
I think I'd add mothers, because people love their mothers unconditionally.
Listen, Chief, your mother is somebody else's girlfriend or wife. There's a nigga that's out there that's saying, yo. But anyway, in closing now, what advice do you have for somebody going through a divorce? Legally speaking, what can we tell these guys? Summing up everything that we've been talking about. Uguti, these are the pros, these are the cons, and Pumagaso, Svutabobani.
Most importantly, if you can afford legal assistance, get an attorney. Okay. If you can't afford legal assistance, there are institutions that will assist you, that will get you an attorney. There's Legal Aid South Africa, UJ has a law clinic, VETS has a law clinic, UNISA has a law clinic. So Pro Bono, there's a probono.org, an organization that furnishes free legal and assists you.
Can you give that probono.org? Do you have their email address? Not email, but their website.
If you just go onto Google and say probono.org, it will appear. Yeah, probono.org. It will appear.
Who knows how to spell?
It is probono.org. pro.org.
Yeah.
One person.
Don't say
Ngikwazi ukuspela mina.
Pro bono.
Awuspele ke.
You know YouTube.
Ngicela uspele
You used to play we played music from YouTube many years ago.
Ubono, yes, is a singer.
Yes,
but
Bono with a pro. That's it, pro Bono.
Awuspele ubono ndoda.
PONO.
Okay.
Yeah, so you go to those organizations, you will find assistance. If you cannot find assistance, I'd advise that do it yourself, but as a measure of last resort.
Masibakshayile so
Yeah, no, as a measure of last
Seven in my
resort, if you can't afford, these people are saying, because there's people who can't afford private attorneys but are too expensive for the legal aid and whatnot.
Yes.
Then those people, you can do it yourself, and have someone to speak to. Have someone to speak to, because in as much as we listen to your problems, we're not psychologists.
Yes.
For some people, it's sufficient for me to sit there during the consultation and listen to them go on. Yeah, hey, this woman, but that's sufficient. But in other circumstances, you need professional assistance, professional intervention. You approach. There are places that offer free therapy, free counseling. You approach those places, and you make sure that you are not only taking care of yourself or of the divorce by having a lawyer. Also take care of your mind, take care of your emotional well-being, because there are times where it gets too much. A lot of guys give up. I've seen the divorces that I've been involved in. A lot of guys just end up giving up and say, you know what, take whatever it is that you want. I'm done with this. I'll start afresh. And then he loses everything. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh.
It's not
crazy,
wise.
man.
When you have a lawyer, I will tell you, you can. This is what the law says. This is what you need to do. But this is what I'm advising you to do to protect yourself, not only for now but for the future as well.
Yeah.
So that you don't end up with a Ganishi order. You don't end up with
And when the
an
anger is
order
subsided,
against it.
and now you're looking.
And then now you're looking and like, yeah, no, I should have.
Yeah.
A lot of guys suffer from that. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to say, look, I need assistance with my emotional well-being. A lot of the gents I've saw on the social media platforms, they go to the gym and whatnot. But for you to be protected legally, get an attorney.
From your
Get an
experience, I mean, what have you, just as we're about to wrap up, just from your own experience personally, what is it that you've observed that you can pinpoint, even if it's just 3 points or 4 or whatever, to say these have been the key issues that have caused a fallout in this relationship? What have been the key things, just based on what you've been seeing, like that lead people to divorce?
Okay. As I said, for men, if there's no peace at home, I mean, you know, as a man, every day, I tell my partner this every day, that I go out there and especially in my profession, we fight. You fight your colleagues, you fight the people at court, you fight. You live by fighting,
Yeah,
and then you
lawyer,
go
no
back
lawyer,
home.
no
Hey, dude.
Yeah. Then you go back home.
Then you
and
go
still-
back home, and there's still a fight. That
Yeah.
gets tiring,
Yeah.
right? So I think for men, just sisters out there, be your man's peace. Be your man's peace. Perhaps he won't tell you this, but I'm telling you this on his behalf. Be your man's peace. Gents, take care of your wives, because wives, usually they don't leave because of infidelity. You see, when you start being abusive now, when you start taking away resources that are supposed to be in the house and taking them outside, when you start exactly when you start being a danger to their kids and the experience that their kids are going to have, then women, when it comes to their kids, gents, they will fight a lion.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, once you threaten their kids' safety, they're out. Those are most instances. It's a few instances where it's just infidelity and that's just it. No, there's physical abuse that comes with it. Because if you don't love a person anymore, and why I say, or I advocate as well, that leave, even though it's not easy, just leave. If you don't love a person anymore, you become hostile towards them. Those things,
but also another thing we're forgetting to talk about when it comes to divorce is childhood traumas. They affect relationships a lot. Where you find that no matter what you do in this relationship, there is nothing you are going to do to help this woman get over the issues that she came with.
Experienced, yeah.
And we gotta come to terms to that. Hey, when it's like that,
seek help in the marriage or something.
Yeah, and we must not fall into the trap of trying to be saviors, because I see a lot of men.
Another one, yeah.
A lot of men want to be superheroes out here. Don't be a superhero, my man. Superheroes are there by Marvel Studios.
How big is money in relationships? How big is money? Yeah,
money is a big thing.
Let's just say lack thereof
as a cause of divorce.
Yes,
as a cause of divorce, the cases that I've come across where this person is working but they're not contributing financially in the house.
That's
now
mostly
the woman is tired now of taking care of the man and doing all those things, especially if the guy is working. Look, money is something that we cannot ignore. It's very important even in relationships. Not to say that to have a successful relationship you must have money, but there has to be that open and honest communication to say this is how my finances look, this is how I'm managing them, and this is how I spend my money. As opposed to, our fathers, they didn't do that. No.
Yeah.
No. Our fathers, we didn't know how much our fathers were earning. Our mothers didn't know how much our fathers were earning. All those things. Now those things are not applicable. You can't live like that now. Just be open and honest. Don't hide anything, because the financial implications of being married to someone is that every decision you make financially, it affects them.
Both of us.
Especially if you don't want to be asked about your money, then you must be prepared not to ask about her money as well.
Yes, exactly.
And chances are she makes more money than you.
She makes more money than you, because not even knowing, you'll think that it's a salary. There's girlfriend allowance on top of that for your woman.
Yeah.
So you must be very, very, very
transparent.
Yeah, be transparent and don't be rigid.
Be trusting.
Yes.
It's like, if you're not gonna go into her phone, don't expect that. Like, if you're not gonna touch my phone, I'm not gonna touch your phone.
If you're saying don't touch my phone,
guys,
we've run out of time. Also not touch her phone.
We ran out of time. We've had another episode of Talk with Blaq, and it was heated. It was fun. It was one of those things.
Everything, yeah.
But check this out. Before we go, Mr. T, your roundup. What's going on?
Yeah, man.
What did you learn today?
Look, I learned that marriage is not a curse. Marriage is not, it's not a horrible thing. There's nothing, as great as living and tying the knot to that ideal person. Like, marriage is a beautiful thing, It's sacred and all of that, and the things that come with it, the blessings and everything else. But it's like this thing, whatever ilukiswa ke ba dula mo, but hape ilukiswa leleme le senya gape le lukisa, ke Sotho. So
don't worry, I'm multilingual.
Okay, there you go.
I speak all of them, Chief.
But honestly, that's what I learned is, in spite of everything that was discussed, like, marriage is sacred. It is beautiful, and something to cherish. But it's
choose
also
the right
the
person.
Pitfalls and accountabilities, issues that we've learned here. So I learned quite a lot, and I don't know if I'll be getting married any day soon, though.
From my side, I believe marriage is a blessing, and I know as men, we need to talk. I think we need to solve issues before it gets to the divorce situation. And I've learned that if you are in that situation, also know what to do. But man, from my belief, I don't love divorce. Because I believe it's God's union and brings two people to one, to expand. But yeah, nevertheless, things happen. I think I've learned that there is ways of sorting issues out, in a proper and a legal way. But yeah, it was touching for me. Yeah.
The man of the hour, Mr. T. Chepo.
No one gets married to get divorced. I think that's one thing that we all need to take note.
Cool.
No one gets married to get divorced. However, you need to be able to make logical decisions, not only to protect yourself, but to protect your spouse and your children as well. So get married, see a lawyer before you even take out the lobola money and whatnot. Consult a lawyer, speak about the matrimonial property regimes that are there, draw up an ANC and then proceed. This is not only for you to hide your assets or to protect yourself, but it protects your spouse as well. And just on a side note, do you know that if you're married out of community of property and your spouse is sued, at least your estate is secure. So they can take everything from the one spouse, but at least we have a house, we have, So we make sure that you make the right decision when it comes to that. There are lawyers, we are here, we will assist you. Reach out to us and we will assist you. But never ever I think like Mr. Baloy said, don't let things build up. That's the issue we have as brothers.
Yeah.
And we let things build up and then once it pops, then it's too much now. So open communication, communicate. Therapy is not a demon, guys. Therapy
That
is
sounds
not,
like a theme of our shows.
You are not a weak man for going to therapy. And yes, there might be people who tell you that you are. Even the woman you're living with may tell you that you are. But she's a woman. She can't tell you what a man is. Yes. Because she's not a man. She's
and
a
she
woman.
Doesn't know how it feels.
She doesn't know. So we need to also be open to going to therapy, speak about your problems, take care of yourself, because that anger that builds up will land you in jail. Now you lose your life, you lose your.
Now you
a lot of people are in jail. They shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there.
For decisions.
They shouldn't be there. So when you come across these legal challenges, get a hold of legal professionals and we will assist you. And pay legal professionals, please. When we are assisting you, you must pay us.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's another show, Talk with Blaq. As I keep telling you guys, there is no glory in dying silently. And if you do go get married, choose the right partner, please. Take time, get to know her. You never know the person you end up with. Go see how she treats her people. Go see how she talks to her mother. Go see how she talks to her sisters. Find out more about this person. Love is not enough because love is going to get you into trouble. And love is going to end you up in divorce. And now you need separ. So get to know her. And there's no glory in dying in silence. And with that said, by the way, you will be able to talk to us down on the comment sections. And we are on Talk with Blaq on all social platforms. Until the next time, adios, Je m'appelle Blaq.